Hi, welcome to CCTV, Channel 17, live at 525, the Preservation Burlington Show. Preservation Burlington is a nonprofit 501c3 organization, and our mission is to preserve and protect the historic architecture and livability of Burlington. We do that through education and advocacy. Thanks for tuning in. My co-host, Lisa.
Yeah, you said it right.
Well, it's written right there in front of me. You could, and you're going to try it one of these days. And we have a great guest with us today, Jane Cadwallader.
Yeah.
And you are, it doesn't say it on there, I know that you're a part of that group as well, but you're working for the state of Vermont and as the roving archivist.
Yes. I think that is the best title ever.
Thank you. I do too. It really caught my eye when I was looking for a new job.
So that's what I was actually advertised.
It was
that?
really, yes, it was advertised as roving archivist.
I love it.
Yeah.
They're like, don't get comfortable. You're going to be moving around.
This is why I love our little state. So sorry.
Briefly, do we have anything coming up that we have to tell everybody about?
Well, Art Hop is coming up.
Yep.
Right?
September.
That is the next thing, which is next week. In September already.
Yep.
So yes, we are doing a few tours.
Yep.
We're part of
like
that.
Like usual, we'll have our tent set up and our swag and everything.
Correct.
Do you know the date of that? I think it's the 9th.
No, the 9th is a Tuesday.
It is? Okay, it's the weekend.
So it's the 6th and the 7th.
Okay.
Or the 5th and the 6th. Anyway, it's coming up.
It's
Look
on
at our website.
It's on our website.
Yeah, so there's going to be some tours, some fun, and just celebrating some of Burlington's history. We are going into the fall. There's really not much planned. There might be a cemetery tour or two.
Yep.
But then our big thing will be our fall meetup in October.
Yep. And I know Devin's working on that right now.
And our annual awards for preservation work and maintenance work for
and that's later on.
Yep, October. It's not that much later.
That's not that much later.
It's like 2 months away.
Didn't we used to do that in the spring, I think?
We did, but we haven't done it for years, and we can talk about that later on.
Okay.
Okay.
Consistency. Anyway, back to our guest.
Yes.
So, thanks for coming on.
Yeah, thank you.
And so we were just already talking about their title, Roving Archivist. Mm-hmm. You saw that in a job search. How long have you been in Vermont?
Yeah, so the first time I came to Vermont was after getting this job. So that was January 2025. Mm-hmm. So I've been here for about a year and a half. And I have, I'm a member of the 251 Club, so I'm ticking off towns as I go. Whew, I think I'm still at about 50 to 60.
That's still pretty good.
Yeah.
So where did you move here from?
I moved here from Phoenix, Arizona.
That's quite a difference.
It's a big difference. So, but I'm enjoying it. Summers are wonderful, and also getting to learn about a new part of the country that I really hadn't traveled through before.
You're from the West, generally?
I am, yeah. I grew up in Tempe, which is in the Phoenix area, where Arizona State University is, and lived in West Virginia for a while, and went to school in the UK.
Oh, we'll have to talk about that too, because that's where I grew up.
Oh,
but
cool.
Anyway, so tell us, what does a roving archivist do?
Yeah, so a roving archivist is a position where you travel around the state, provide technical assistance and guidance to places that hold historical records. So the program that I work for, the Vermont Historical Records Program, is under the Vermont State Archives and Records Administration. And as part of my position, I do site visits. I also help with technical issues. We have equipment that we loan, an internship program, and we also do presentations and workshops. And one of our main goals is to help improve access and preservation to the historical records that are held throughout the state. It's not just one big repository, as you know, that holds everything.
Right.
There are
all over the place.
Yeah, it's frustratingly widespread.
Exactly, yeah, small to large. Municipal, historical societies, public libraries, museums, and families too. We specifically work with historical societies, public libraries, town clerks that hold historic permanent records, helping with preservation. guidance
Are
specifically.
you also helping them digitize their records, or is it really just
Yeah.
like holding them so that they don't, mold?
That's
fall
a great
apart?
question. Yeah, we have a mobile digitization unit, and that is a series of pieces of equipment. We have scanners, copy stands, digital camera, laptop, and these are all free to loan out to historical societies. With that, we also have help and guidance in developing a digitization project, because really the easiest and most fun part is the scanning, but it does all of that pre-work determining what to scan,
Right.
and also where you're going to store it.
Yeah, the organization itself, like if you don't keep up on top of
Exactly.
it, you've got 7,000 images numbered 1, 2, 3, 4,
On a
5, 6,
computer
7, 8,
in the
right?
basement
You
next
got
to the
it.
shelves
All
of
over your
paper.
desktop, and it's just crazy.
Yeah. and
So,
you're-
so that, do you go and knock on doors, or is there a backlog of
yeah.
these societies asking the state for help, or
Yeah,
a combination?
Sometimes, like if I love going to outreach events. For example, we met at Spotlight Vermont.
Yeah.
And part of it is getting to meet the public, but the other part is meeting other cultural heritage volunteers and professionals, and just letting them know I'm there. But we do get a lot of calls and requests. I also have virtual office hours once a month. It's every third Tuesday, 1 to 2 p.m., where I do a small presentation. But the main body of it is to invite people. It's open to the public to ask questions, introduce themselves. We occasionally have other archivists or historic preservation professionals on there sharing information.
Almost like a podcast.
Yeah, yeah.
Podcast roundtable.
Do they find out about it on the state website or something? How do they find out about
Yeah,
that?
so they can find out about it on the state website.
Here it is, right there.
Perfect.
Yep.
Yeah. Under partner, so you'll see the tabs at the top just under the Secretary of State. And that partner is VHRP. So that's where all of our information is. I also post it on the VT Local History listserv that's maintained by the Vermont Historical Society.
And we have, I'm supposed to hold it up for an awkwardly long amount of
Yeah,
time so
I
they
brought
can zoom in
swag.
on it. But
Stickers.
so you have
bring in
brochures and stickers that you give out at
Yes.
the events. So
Yes.
it's another way for people to grab all the information, then go to the website, then go to your virtual
Absolutely.
podcasts and meetings.
And you were telling us, just as we were about to start the program, something about a sticker contest for
Oh,
kids.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm supposed to announce
Oh,
that yet,
okay.
but we, yeah.
Sorry.
My colleague Kara is working on a project, so we're excited. So stay tuned. There might be more stickers.
We only have 2 viewers, so it's fine.
Okay, there you go.
Shush. So since you've come to Vermont and you're starting, and you have an unfair advantage in the 251 Club then, since your job requires you to travel. So
Yeah, that
that's
is
a little bit of
cheating.
cheating.
Yeah.
That's
But
cheating.
I love that. But so I would love to know, like, what is your favorite little Vermont town so far that you visited?
Oh man.
Because there's so many.
Wow, you're putting her
so
on the
hard.
spot.
Yes,
I
I
know.
am.
They all have something.
Or is
yeah.
okay? Is there something in a town that you have
Yeah.
found particularly interesting? Because for me, that was the Brandon Firehouse, right? Like the old firehouse that was
okay.
then became a bank. That is like one of my favorite Vermont buildings. What about you?
Yeah. Oh man. That's a really hard question because like every time I turn a corner on the road, I'm like, wow,
There's
like the
something else.
first covered bridge I saw, and one of my first site visits was in Danville. So it was really exciting to go and meet with the members of the Historical Society there and look around the house. Hardwick Historical Society, they've got amazing collections. I think like one of the big one, actually it was in Burlington. I turned down a little road to get to my new house and I saw the Catholic Church, which I'd never seen before, and I didn't realize it had that massive facade. So now I drive past it all the time to check it out. But yeah,
Yeah.
I can't pin down one town, but
There's something in everyone, right?
There
Yeah, I'd be
really
hard
is,
pressed.
yeah.
Yeah.
Having worked in a bunch of them for different things, you know. I mean,
Exactly.
the Park McCullough House down in North Bennington.
Oh, yeah.
You know, you get these big grandiose things, of course, but then my favorite thing to do is go into these little granges everywhere. You know, getting to go to the basement, go up to the tower, you know. And they're all different, but they're all similar. I love that.
Yeah.
At Village Greens.
Yes, village greens are really cool.
Yeah,
Church,
I do a lot of
range.
events in town halls, or I visit town offices a lot, so it's neat to see how everything has, or how things have moved through the town over time, because there might be, you know, for example, the Historical Society might be in the old school or in an old town office or something, like in Sheldon, Vermont. They just did a major restoration on the old post office and market and everything, so that was really neat to see.
Yeah, and I think too probably is like, you know, it's really, you can, there's lots of new technology and there's new ways of doing things, but you go into some of these little old towns and it's like you're stepping back 100 years, right? Like you're still doing things a lot of times the old way, because the old way still works. It's so
really does.
neat.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is. It's really fun. With working with the historical societies, it's not just seeing the built environment, it's also getting an introduction into their recorded history too, which is really amazing. There are some incredible collections throughout Vermont. Photographs, glass plate negatives, documentary evidence, so it's really neat.
I'm curious, you know, what are some of the problems or challenges that historical societies are coming up against? Because you know, a lot of them are staffed by older volunteers. You know, like, are they? You know, Preservation Burlington is one of the challenges and conversations that we're having, is how to get young people interested in history and archives and these records. Is that something that you're seeing too?
Yeah, sometimes you know, it could be a very small group that works on the historical society, volunteer only. It really varies by every town, but that is something that is a concern, is getting the next generation involved. As being somebody that got involved with my local historical house in my 20s, back in Phoenix, I was a volunteer at the Rosin House, and I think there is interest in history, in historic preservation, in saving your town's history, and it's just getting out there and getting people involved. For example, the Spotlight Vermont event that was held at the City Hall Park, it was really a focus on activities to get people interested. Milton Historical Society had a drag race with mini cars. It was so fun, you know, and it directly related to their collections for Catamount Racetrack.
Right.
Oh, Carnival. Winter Carnival. We should have something, bring that back down Main Street.
And sled right down Main Street.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
That would be great.
That would be really fun.
Could you get on that, please?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
That's awesome. What is your favorite part of the job?
I think it's meeting people. I think it's getting out and talking about records and history. I find that people in the cultural heritage profession are passionate about what they do, and there's just a variety of skills and experience that you find at a historical society museum. You know, it's just amazing to see how people can apply. You know, a lot of people are retired, but there are a lot of young people, and just see how they apply their own skills to help out their community.
So at 20, when you got involved with that historic
Yeah.
site, what was the hook for you? And was your, at 20, so did your undergraduate work?
Yeah, I
towards?
started school really late. So I did take a few community college classes right after high school, but I didn't actually finish or go into my undergraduate until my 30s.
Oh, good for you.
I was in the hospitality industry for several years, and the great thing about that is you have free days. I worked in the evening, so I could
Right.
go and volunteer, and really I had just gone to take a tour, and Linda, who worked in the gift shop, was like, forget about taking a tour, you should give tours. And I was like, what? She was like, you should volunteer with us. And so they had a collections committee, and I was interested in that. And so I was like, okay, I'll fill out the paperwork. But the collections committee was full. So I ended up giving tours, which was one of the best experiences I've ever had. And it involved other things too. I eventually got involved with the collections committee. That's where I worked on my first archival projects. It also opened up some doors for continued internships and grant work, and led to my master's in archives and records management. So.
It's a slippery slope, isn't it?
It really is.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it really
yeah,
is. Like,
it's a gateway.
so happenstance. Yeah, for me, it was like bought an old house and I wanted to learn how to take care of it.
Yeah.
How did you get into this whole field?
Well, similarly, I mean, on the sort of the physical end of things, historic preservation versus other construction. I was in college. I went to college later also, and then I was.
I think everybody should.
In the, yeah, absolutely. But I didn't go back after once. I met a stonemason and I was just doing it to make extra money, and it was kind of interesting, and it was a little bit of a foot in the door. And then I just started painting and doing stuff in New York City, which is all interior work. It's all brownstones. You immediately get drawn into the architecture and the style and the design. And I had my before college was all art background. So that's what tricked me into it.
There you go.
I love it. We're tricked into it. I'm really curious from an archivist point of view. And one of the things that I often think about is, you know, there's nothing written anymore. Like there's email and all these digital records. And one of the things I love as a historian is going to, say, special collections and looking, you know, through people's letters and diaries and all of that rich content.
Yeah.
What's good? What are people 100 years from now going to have on us?
That's a good question. I mean, there is a lot of work. Digital preservation is a way to preserve those digital born or scanned items, so emails, PDFs, things like that. And something I always tell myself is even though I'm an archivist because I love paper and I love the tactile quality of it, but I also remind myself that it's really about the content within that paper that's important. And so even though we are moving more towards digital records, we're still working very hard to capture and preserve those records.
Yeah.
And the paper's still there. You know, we're not digitizing journals and tossing them away. What it does is it increases access. So we have the original journal, which again is beautiful to look at and everything. And now we have very high quality facsimiles that are digital that we can share across the world, that you can blow up so you can see that word that you can't figure out what it says, you know, that kind of stuff.
Like on the census.
So,
yeah, I'm very tactile too. So it's really, but at the end of the day, it's about the information, whether it's in an email or on a piece of paper, right?
Yeah.
That's what I'm hearing. But I've still, when I die, everything I've ever written is in my basement. So people are going to go, oh my God, and
Unless
it'll
it
flood.
floods.
unless it floods, But yeah, and people still write. I mean, I have notebooks full of stuff, you know. It still exists. Like just because we have a new technology, we're still, you know, using that old technology. People are still printing books and making art books. I don't know if you've seen the art book collection at UVM, but
No.
yeah.
Tell us about that.
Oh, UVM, I believe in silver collections. I might have that wrong, but they do have a art book collection, and it is artists who print and create unique books or small printings of books of all types. It's really beautiful, and I recommend checking it out.
To go check that out for sure. Absolutely.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I love books and paper and pens.
Same.
I'm a stationary nerd from way back.
Yes, yeah, I love good journals, good thick paper, fountain pens. I like all the things. I'm such a nerd.
Yeah, I think we're all on the same page.
No, totally.
No pun intended.
That's what I like to find is
New York Times
pens.
wire cutter said, like, they'll do best pens, and if the pens I like aren't on there, I send them nasty emails. What's wrong with you? Just one word email. Zebra. That's all I'm saying.
So, is your work at all seasonal? Do you have, you know, how?
Yeah. Well, I work full time, but it does change over the season. I'm still getting used to the schedule and everything, but it looks like as I'm experiencing right now, summers are really busy. I do a lot of travel in the
Is
summer.
that because of with school groups, or because kids are on vacation, or is it?
Yeah, a
something
lot
else?
of it is because, first off, the roads are good.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
And I still have my Arizona car. And then also a lot of historical societies close during the winter.
Yeah.
So they're open. We have more time to meet and visit and
The
things like
buildings
that.
are cold, and it's cold and miserable out, and there are older groups
Exactly.
of people working on it.
Yeah, so I do a lot of travel and things in the summer. I do a lot of more like writing and virtual presentations during the winter. It is a little quieter in December and January, but it gives me time to catch up.
Which is nice.
Yeah, and then as a employee at the State Archives, I also have a shift in the reference room every Tuesday. Come see me.
All right, cool.
But yeah, so I help out with reference, which I also enjoy as well.
Where is the reference room?
Yeah, that is in Middlesex at the Vermont State Archives and Records Administration building. That's where the Record Center and archives are stored for the state of Vermont. And we have a reference room that's open Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. It's walk-in. You can come in, or you can email us, and we can set up. We can pull your boxes ahead of time, have everything ready. Yeah.
So what would somebody be looking for there?
So State Archives, they do hold the historic permanent records of the state of Vermont. So for instance, for agencies, the governor's office, state legislators, and also the legislature, so the Senate and the House. We have all different types of formats, from paper to digital. We do have a digital repository called VT Retain that has some of the newer items coming in. We have photographs, reel-to-reels, cassettes, VHS, giant ledgers, and we have
8 tracks?
8 tracks. We probably do.
Probably
yeah.
do.
And we have things from the Vermont Republic, some records that are earlier than that, up to some of the more recent House sessions, House and Senate sessions.
I haven't been to visit since graduate school. I should come down. And
Yeah, you should come
on
down.
a Tuesday.
Yeah.
On a Tuesday.
On a Tuesday.
Yeah.
All right, I'll do that.
Check in.
I love that.
Yeah. Just go
Yeah.
down there, pick a name, a date, and a thing, and just look for it.
Exactly.
How, we talked a little bit briefly about, archives and records just being so all over the place,
Yes.
right? I'm struggling for the words as a
Basement.
writer, like that's really tough. But how do you reconcile that? And are there systems being developed to connect things more? Because one thing that I remember as researching, I'd have to go to one library for one thing and one collection for another thing, and then down to Barry to the Vermont Historical Society for something else, and it takes a long time to piece things together.
Yeah.
How can we improve that as a group?
Yeah, one way is like a digital repository.
Yeah.
So I think I'm not very familiar with the name of the one that exists now, but basically it's a discovery tool online where you can search material and find it. It may not be digitized and up there, but at least you know the location. Another thing is that some repositories will provide a copy request by email. For example, the Vermont State Archives, you don't have to come all the way to Middlesex. If you know what you're looking for, we can scan that and provide a copy for you. So that can help kind of
Save on drive time.
exactly. Yeah.
Do you have like a library catalog online where
We do.
it
We
shows
have
what you have?
Yeah, we have an online research guide. It's on the Vasara website that is posted right there. If you scroll down the page to explore, or it says online guide, and you can look at all of our different record series that we have there. And actually, that's something I like to do in my pastime, is to check out what's in there.
Right.
Yeah, I could totally relate to that, and I think we're probably going to blow up your website views now. Everybody's going to rush over there.
Shit.
Yes. Yeah.
Hopefully not crash it, but no, that's fantastic.
Well, only 640,000 people are here or so, right? So
But
that
this
wouldn't
is
crash it.
this is YouTube. This is worldwide.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Well, the people that used to be in Vermont and just remembered something they want to find, now they know how to do it.
Exactly. Yeah, and I have some great colleagues that work on the reference team, and they're happy to help locate materials as well. And same with the VHRP. If you have a question, you don't know where to go, you can start with us, and we can help. If we don't know an answer or can't help, we can help find somebody who can.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that.
That's sort of that back to that preservation network, and you know,
Yeah.
especially in Vermont where everybody kind of knows everybody. You're new, but you've already met half of the people. You know.
Yeah, exactly, and it is great. There are a lot of collaborative efforts here. Another one that I'm a co-lead of the Vermont Arts and Culture Disaster and Resilience Network, and this is an Alliance for Response network that gets people from the cultural heritage, the arts, in contact with emergency responders to help with response to disasters and emergencies. So I believe it was founded about 7 years ago, but they were able to help with the 2023 flood and get help out. So
Yeah, that is a really good topic or area, things that we don't think about, right? What happens if an archival repository gets flooded or what are the steps?
Yeah, definitely. So it could be a flood, it could be a leaky pipe or something, but the first is preparing for something like that. So we do spend a lot of time planning and trying to mitigate some of the risks that we have.
So don't store your things right under a joint of
Exactly.
a pipe.
Right.
Exactly. Yeah, you got it. And so then it's identifying that emergency that's happening, and then contacting the right people. If it's a large flood, for example, the 2023 floods were devastating. There were some
Significant losses,
significant
I would think.
losses. Yeah. So, but it's that contact information, going out to the community as well, whether this is a major disaster or a small disaster, identifying what level of response is needed. Part of that mitigation or preparing for something is identifying, well, we have collections of paper. If they get wet, what do we do then?
Right.
Well, you want to freeze them right away so they don't mold if you can't get them drying right away. So having those vendor contracts to help with those services when needed.
Yeah.
And then there's the response, and then salvage. So salvage is that part where you're trying, get everything dried out or out of harm's way the best you can. And always first and foremost is safety, health and safety for the people that are working on that. So that, I forgot to put that in there, but that is really
that's
important.
Especially when you're rushing around in a panic, not in a panic
Exactly.
necessarily.
But you
if
kind of
prepare.
are. You're not thinking straight, right? Because you've got so many things you need to save or take care of. Or
Yeah, definitely. So we have emergency kits around the state, and it's basically emergency supply kit. It can be a large trash can, but it has things that you would need for that initial response. Paper towels, plastic sheeting, personal protective equipment like masks and gloves and everything. And then it can have more specialized items, but also, scissors or basic tools. And
Tape.
It's the idea that those things are all together. You don't have to go find them. They're right there, and those can be deployed to areas where there is an emergency.
Yeah. That's fascinating.
Yeah.
I learned a ton today.
Oh, good.
Thank you for coming and chatting with us.
Thank you. This is wonderful.
I really didn't know a whole lot about what's going on down there lately and your role, and I love that you're getting out into the community and just helping us conserve what we've got.
Thank you. Yeah, it's been really rewarding work, and I'm excited to continue doing it.
So you don't regret moving here?
You
Not
probably
at
get a lot
all.
of positive feedback, I imagine.
Not at all. Yeah, this is wonderful.
I love it.
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome.
Well, thanks, Jane. I was really glad we ran into each other when we did.
Thank you.
And again, I just keep saying roving archivist, because as soon as I saw your card, it's like, oh my God, this is so interesting. I got to find out more about this. It's kind of like the ideal. Thanks again for coming on the show.
Absolutely, my pleasure. Thank you for asking me on.
Yeah, and we'll do it again. And because I know there's so many topics, we don't get to touch on everything. Right? But I want to thank everybody for tuning in to CCTV Live at 525 at Preservation Burlington. For more information on Burlington history, our tours and events, or to get a marker for your house, go to preservationburlington.org and go to the state website. And we'll see you next month.
Yeah, we'll put all the links up there and all good.
Thank you.